Just a sec.
Well, welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio, everyone! We are officially on the open road, leaving Grand Trad in our very own Gauntlet Runner.
Can you hear me?
And we also are introduced to the greatest character of all time, ever! We don't know his name yet, so I'll just say this guy! Yes, he's just as crazy as this runner, and that's what makes him amazing! Yes, Gallica, what is happening right now? Whatever it is, it's amazing. Yeah, we got 3 rest stops until we reach, Matera, the old castle town. That's our destination. 4 days and 3 nights. That's a lot of time to keep ourselves busy on this runner.
Spectacular.
And there's also another icon on that map that I guess we'll be encountering soon.
This is amazing. I don't know a thing about Gauntlet Runners, but even I can tell this is a hell of a craft. I can hardly believe she's ours to drive.
You're telling me that? Feels like ages since I've been out on the open road. This girl's been waiting long enough for her time to shine.
So this is what you use to talk with the driver. Convenient, that. Look, old fellow, are you really on our side? You realize we don't have funds to pay you.
Money? Fuck! I'm not in this for the money, boy. What I want is a little gusto. What do you think, lad? Isn't this a rush?
It is at that. Like riding the wind.
That's the ticket. It's been so long since I've had a good chinwag.
A chinwag is British for talk, by the way.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Anybody who says not interested, you are no longer my friend.
You've a good head on your shoulders, boy. Yes, I can tell you're a sharp one. Where to, ladies? The world is our shellfish.
I suppose they have to say shellfish here, because we don't really know if oysters exist in this world.
You certainly are a different person behind the wheel.
Hey, Hulkenberg. Can we get an explanation yet?
Yes, who the heck is this crazy old man?
That man is Nuris. An Ishkia, if 'twas not obvious from the wings. And despite everything, he was heir to a noble house and personal machinist for the royal family.
Ah, I guess that explains why he was helping us. But yes, this is Nuris, and when I first got to this point in my first playthrough, I created this Tumblr post. This post actually really had legs with the algorithm for some reason. Well, not for some reason. Probably because a lot of people really like Nuris. Like, seriously, Nuris is a character who just absolutely surprised me. I was not... Like, we saw pictures of him in promo material and trailers. I was not expecting his personality to be anything like this. And I just, like, you'll see throughout this whole part, Nuris is just perfection.
What?
He is potentially my favorite character in this entire game, which is really saying something.
He's a master engineer, of course, positively peerless. But as you can see, the runners get him a bit excitable.
And I think it might be because, to me, he's very neurodivergent coded. And now, Flashback! What was Hulkenberg doing while we were busy getting that bounty?
Nuris? Are you there? I'm coming in. Even amidst all this commotion in town, I find you buried in your work.
Too much to do.
As always. To business then. I must ask a favor. Would you be able to ready a carriage for me?
No new commissions. No time for them. Ask another right.
It is not a new one I require. Before His Highness disappeared, did you not accept a contract to build him a custom carriage? Without a formal owner, I reasoned that it must now lie unused. I was hoping I might borrow it a short while.
But
and tosh woman. She is for royal use and naught else.
'Tis an unreasonable request, I know. But I'd not be asking without a grave need. Might I at least see it?
I mean, well,
'Twas specially made for His Highness, yes? Not a work you'd have sold off. Where lies it now?
I've deadlines to meet, dash it. Off with you now. Leave me be.
You've been acting stranger than usual. What ails you?
Whoa!
Good God. Is this a Gauntlet Runner? The very craft commissioned for His Highness the Prince? Even knowing His Highness was gone, still you toiled away. Oh, Nuras, you are an inspiration. Such nobility of purpose.
Yes. Right.
However, for a craft meant for the royal family, 'tis rather excessive, isn't it? Did you really build this vehicle exactly to their orders?
I get the feeling that I took a few liberties is the right expression here.
You cannot mean...
Well, at first, certainly. I followed the blueprints exactly. But then His Highness died, and... well, I couldn't just let the old girl waste away. A masterpiece like her? Collecting dust in storage? No! Unacceptable! Unthinkable! I'm working toward a dream. And this poor old girl is going to help me see it through. And then, finally...
You imbecile! A lowly, brazen court engineer butchering His Highness's inheritance for a hobby! For this mania! You embezzled the royal treasury and disrespected his legacy! Treason!
Mercy, please! Look, take my head if you must, milady. But leave the Gauntlet Runner alone.
Look, this runner... 'tis fully operational now, is it? Then I suggest you cooperate, for both our sakes. Finish your tinkering by tomorrow and bring it to the Grand Cathedral as soon as you can.
Eh? What's all this now? You play the proud soldier at me and then pluck it for your own schemes?
'Tis no scheme. I would use it for His Highness's sake.
For His Highness, eh? Hold a tick. Haven't you been looking for him? Wandering across God knows where last I heard? So if you're back now and now you want a Gauntlet Runner for His Highness? Is His Highness still alive? That's it! I've got you, haven't I?
'Twas His Highness who gave you refuge while you were only a heretical scholar condemned by the Sanctists. The time has come to repay His mercy.
Understood.
And that's how we got our car, basically.
Is that enough? Can this old duck really handle an undercover operation?
I mean, it's not exactly the best for being undercover, given that it's pretty conspicuous.
I know what you're thinking, but 'tis at least true that he feels an undying debt of gratitude to the royal family.
Oh, right, we're talking, well, by old duck, we're talking about Nuras and not the runner itself. Yeah, never call Nuras an old duck. Nuras is somebody that I will defend forever and ever and ever. Yeah, as that Tumblr post shows.
Pish and tosh, boy. A little faith. Not to brag, but this old duck's craft might be the fastest Gauntlet Runner in the kingdom. Why, probably the world.
To be kind of brain-rotted again, I almost sum up Nuras as, what if Dr. Eggman was not evil and also British?
I think. Maybe.
How encouraging.
All I want is to push this runner as far and as fast as she can go. Show her off to the world. And you? Well, I presume you'd rather work together than have to walk, eh?
Ah, yes, he has the power to eject us from the vehicle and force us to walk the whole rest of the way. We must listen to him. But yeah, it's just the general eccentric inventor archetype. I really like that. And for some reason, especially with a British accent, I don't know, there's just something about that.
I don't know about this, but I guess we'll just have to trust him. What do you think?
Also, one of my favorite dialogue options in the entire game.
Well, if we die, we all die together.
Ha! The boy's bold as brass.
Tis not an invitation, you dolt. Eyes on the road.
Either way, he knows the prince is alive, so we can't just leave him to his own devices. We're all in the same boat. Or runner, I guess.
I would say that we probably can trust him not to be disloyal, but also this guy's very loud and he really loves his work. So I feel like he's, like, if we let him out unsupervised, he's probably gonna leak the secret.
You lot can handle the fighting, and I'll handle all the driving and grease work. Just make sure you've got a proper plan for all this mess now.
This guy's got no filter. But he has a point. We do need to talk strategy.
Again, Eurus is very neurodivergent coded to me.
So, summing up, our first trial is to slay a monster. We take its head as proof, then get it to the goal line before the deadline. The bigger the head, the better. Our destination is Port Brylehaven, the capital of the Western Principality of Oceania. It'd be a trek on foot, but this Gauntlet Runner should make it a snap.
So getting the bounty's head is our next move. And our target is a nefarious criminal who's been kidnapping and selling off children. Right?
A criminal? Did the task not specify a monster's head?
Yeah, Hulkenberg's only just finding out this part of the plan. Please don't let her just jump out of the runner upon realizing what we're doing.
Don't worry, all part of the plan. We don't need to win this thing. We just need to get Luis's attention. Everyone's going to show up with monster heads, and we shake things up with a felon. A knight-turned-kidnapper at that. Shows them we're there for justice.
But to deliberately violate the rules, we risk being disqualified entirely. Then again, 'tis just as likely to win the people's attention and thereby Luis's. I do understand the intent.
Feel like Luis is more likely to pay attention to somebody who intentionally breaks the Sanctus rules, too.
What do you think of this plan?
I trust all of you completely.
Good enough for me. A captain's got to trust his crew, after all.
And suddenly it's One Piece.
The bounty's Heisme, an ex-knight. I realize that's a little close to home, Hulkenberg, so if you'd rather hang back...
No. His title is precisely why I cannot let his atrocities stand. And yet, 'tis strange indeed that we are hunting a mere man when the trial demands a monster. Then again, our true aim is beyond the ambitions of any other aspirant. Our fate rests in this plan of yours, Stroll.
Yeah, it's Stroll who's coming up with the plan. It's very interesting. Stroll is potentially, in a way, Stroll is the strategist of this group right now, which is another kind of subversion of the usual bro archetype.
Thank you. I'll try to ensure your trust isn't misplaced.
Righto. Then our course is set. Feel free to use anything in the Gauntlet Runner. Even got a bathing room if you could use a wash.
Are you trying to say something about a smell?
Good to know. We can always look around more thoroughly later.
Yes. You needn't tire yourself out before we arrive.
Well, I'm a tinkerer and not much else. All my fighting happens in the old workshop. But I'll take you wherever you're going for your sake and mine. After all, the wilds out there are no berry picnic. Oh no. It's a den of wild beasts and savage scoundrels. And we'll not get past it without days on the road together.
He's not exaggerating. We will be encountering enemies on the road.
So, if you need anything besides a steady hand on the wheel, give me a hoot. Bound to find me in the cockpit or the engine room.
He's certainly an eccentric, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. We'll get used to him, I suppose.
Gallica, are you saying anything, you implying anything bad about Neuros? Because if that's the case, our friendship is in serious jeopardy. Yes, while Stroll might be a lot of people's ride or die, Neuros is my ride or die, and I'm sticking with that. Gauntlet Runner has various areas for different activities, such as the strategy room, the lounge, and the kitchen. You can also visit Academia by finding more and interacting with him. Let's visit the engine room first, which is where Neuros is, yes. Take your time and have a look around on your way here.
Yeah?
So, the Gauntlet Runner is kind of like a secondary base, but it's a base on wheels. So it's where we are while we're traveling, but we also have various different activities that we can do while we're here. And we can also talk to our team members. Oh, I'm sure this place has a whole ton of dubious additions. He's had a long time since, you know, he thought this project was cancelled to be working on it in his spare time. Yeah, it does look like a bumpy ride. Can't actually go up there. Because if it were to disrupt Neuros while he's driving, the sheer power of Neuros' amazing voice would disintegrate us before he could even try. But yes, this watchtower is somewhere that we can actually go. And we can get a good look at where we're going. We're heading through the Tradia Desert. We can see the runner's actual legs getting us around. We have somewhere we can communicate up here. Sometimes I like to just look out at the scenery here. I mean, there's a little bit of a motion sickness issue for some people, I guess. And I think this scenery does just repeat. Also, there's like a gargoyle thing over there. It's just, I don't know, so the whole plotline of the Gauntlet Runner, it just really evokes the feeling of going on a road trip to me. And I do personally really like road trips. We can also climb up here to the deck. So yeah, this is the lower part of the outer segment of the Gauntlet Runner. Got our own giant megaphones in the front. You can even see Neuros driving here. Again, though, don't get in his way, or else you are interfering with perfection, and that is something that you should never do because perfection. We also have. I'm not going to make the joke just yet. Not now. There are more pressing matters at hand. But the main important thing to remember is actually the toilet's very important to remember, but the pantry. Always, 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 always check the pantry every single day. But you might also want to save for doing it. So checking the pantry in the Gauntlet Runner, which can even be done when you're in town, just find the Gauntlet Runner while it's at rest, will get you random ingredients. There is one type of ingredient, and it is called Gauntlet Shrooms, that you can only get on the Gauntlet Runner. If you're going for the achievement for cooking every single dish in this game, you need at least 5 Gauntlet Shrooms to make everything. So it might actually be worth it to save reload abuse in the runner until you get enough Gauntlet Shrooms. They are the only ingredient that cannot be found anywhere else. Yes, I prefer to cook the food before eating it. There's also a washing area and a cooking table where we can actually, make things. So that's good to know. We also have a bookshelf with a lot of difficult-looking books, and that is a strange device, one of Neuros' inventions. Oh no, don't touch it, or the whole place will probably explode and then explode again. We can also head to the back deck, where there is a cloth-covered barrel. I wonder what that's used for. Yeah, a lot of facilities that are going to eventually unlock here. They really made sure that you wouldn't run out of things to do while on the runner. Yeah, these beds remind me of Japanese capsule hotels, but they're the best we got right now. And then we have the downstairs engine room corridor. So here's where more is. So if you want to go to Academia and do some preparations, which might be important because we may or may not have some fights coming up. Though I believe today is not quite the time where you really need to prepare for a fight. Also have some interesting looking cylinders here. A clothes washing machine. These ones don't do anything with your royal virtues or anything else, so they're not really the most important facilities to know about. But we also have... I mean, I've heard an engine room described as the beating heart of a vessel, but I didn't expect it to be taken so literally.
Hello?
Yes, Neuros can see you everywhere in this place, and he can communicate with you always, and that is perfection, because Neuros is the best character of all time.
Spectacular.
Yeah, some of them are actually made of dead beasts, apparently. Yeah, we heard about that before, but, well, let's just say this guy's gonna be a follower Bond eventually, and I'm looking forward to that. Not just because of him, because of the archetype that he gives, which is also one of my favorite archetypes. Funny how that works out. Yeah, I suppose running it all the time would potentially break that giant pumping heart there. So yeah, you can do things like obtain items, raise abilities. We can go to the kitchen, use the washing machine. We can also spend time with our allies, which might help improve your virtues. So ultimately, I feel like the best thing to do in the runner is to focus on royal virtues or bonds. This thing is apparently an igniter. As I've hinted at in Hulkenberg and Stroll's bonds, some party member bonds can only be done while on the runner. And this is a very strange igniter that, I wonder if it will be important later. Before doing anything, it's a good idea to save, so let's get an idea of what we can do here. The washing machine will increase your max MP. I wouldn't recommend doing this until you have nothing left to do. Now, this right here is actually fairly important, but right now I recommend prioritizing royal virtues or bonds. Later in the game, though, cleaning is one of the ways that you can potentially obtain an item called the tail bait that you will need if you want to make all of the cooking dishes later on, so just keep that in mind. So here's Hulkenberg. She's not available for a bond rank up at the moment, but we could also cook in the kitchen, and cooking is useful because it's, because it gives you access to some, potential healing items in battle. However, cooking is... Oh boy, Stroll's already motion sick.
Sorry.
Suppose it's just like adjusting to plane flights. You can also check the map.
Let's see.
So we're on our way to the first rest stop, but there's also something over there. Cooking does get more efficient in the runner after you rank up Maria's bond a bit more, so you might want to hold off for now, but we're going to instead go for the bookshelf. We can read New World Travel Diary or Pride and Persuasion. We're going to go for the New World Travel Diary. Yet more fictional accounts of travel. This one boosts imagination. And I believe there is a trophy for slash achievement for reading all the books, which I'm going to be going for the books too, because they are some of the best ways to increase your royal virtues right now. Some of these questions will boost the points that you get out of these, but for this one, anything works.
That's right.
Ah yes, we finally comprehend, just like a certain legendary character.
So then...
Sweet!
You know, I feel like Will would end up writing a book about all this. Of course, things have already been pretty crazy so far, but it's only going to get even crazier.
Well then...
In a way, these book events are kind of the closest thing you have to a Gallica bond that's, like, actually manual. Unique direction. With this, we get 4 coins worth of imagination increase. But it's gonna still be a little while before we can reach the next rank of that. But just as we have day activities in the Gauntlet Runner, we also have night activities.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at the desert camp as the scorching sun sinks below the horizon, and the curtain of night falls over the land. Protected within the stalwart hull of the Gauntlet Runner, the party gains a short, peaceful respite.
At night, the vast wilderness outside town is ensconced there in darkness. Forcing your way through the unmarked terrain is very dangerous, even with a stalwart Gauntlet Runner. Instead, establish camp somewhere safe. You can resume your travels next morning. When in an encampment, you can use any of the facilities, but you can also reminisce about your journey with your allies. And yeah, there are unique reminiscence conversations based on what's going on in the story. I don't think I'll be showing all of those, because sometimes there's more important things to do. But at night, we can check out the fire, because this gets us either the Dream Eater Moth or the Luma Bee, and these are mostly only available from the campfire. So make sure you always check the campfire when you're stopping at a camp. So we can actually talk with Gallica to see, yeah, nobody's able to rank up is what that means. But we can still keep reading books, or we can talk to Stroll for some more imagination.
Your thoughts?
Sadly, nothing with Neuros right now. Huh. Yeah. Just like any good creator of a travel vehicle in a JRPG, Neuros wants to make an airship one day. I wonder if that's a fantasy trope we'll end up seeing. And we can also reminisce with Hulkenberg for another increase in imagination. But we could read another chapter of New World Travel Diary to work on the book's achievements. It is the same stat, though, and these conversations, I believe, are unique. And you know what? I feel like I'm going to be a little different from the norm and go for Hulkenberg. Thing is, I don't have the responses for the best outcomes memorized for all of these. But yeah, we could hone some imagination this way. Alright, hang on. Before we speak to Hulkenberg, one facility that I forgot to show is the washroom. Doesn't work right now. That can give you 100 experience points. But okay, yeah, we are going to talk to Hulkenberg. I think technically you might be able to get more imagination from reading the book, but this is an event that we won't be able to see again after this moment in the story. Which also means the Stroll one is missable. Now, the spreadsheet that I have up for all these activities says that answer 1 is the best one.
Certainly.
I see.
And I hope that's right. Because I've been burned by spreadsheets before. Cockatoo Woolly Cloud Omelette.
Let's try this.
Specifically with cooking. At the Hushed Honeybee. Huh, that is actually interesting. That people naturally have magic within them, but they lose it when they don't use it enough. Ah yes, Hulkenberg's ravenous appetite. Foreshadowing is a literary device. I feel like one more set of 4 coins should get us to rank 2 there. But we still have several days before we reach the town.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
And today is an Idols Day, which is a very important day on the runner.
Good morning.
And no voice acting means that today is mostly just counted as another daily life segment aboard the runner. It's kind of a cool idea for a Persona-style game, the fact that you also have the ability to do daily life activities while traveling between towns. Yes, I feel like if any sand did get between the seams of this thing, Neuros would have a complete breakdown and would destroy the desert grain by grain. Neuros is quickly becoming like the mimetic like powerhouse of my headcanons. So yeah, we have 2 more days. We could speak to Hulkenberg for some wisdom. We could speak to Stroll for some courage. These aren't story-driven events. These are just generic. The first time you do them will have greater mag gains than the later times you do them. But it is Idols Day, and Idols Day means that we need to use
the toilet.
I will only make that joke once. Like, I actually really don't like toilet humor. But I will make one exception, because this toilet is insanely important. Finally, everything that I said in the will bio is paying off. If you use the toilet on Idols Day, you get a guaranteed +1 luck. This can be done every Idols Day. And so you basically get a huge amount of free points of luck just for remembering to do that. Can be easy to forget, but it helps a critical build if you're going for a strength build on Will. Now, the pantry is going to be refreshed because it's a new day, and that means I am going to save abuse. Hey, I got Gauntlet Shrooms the first try, I didn't even need to! So yeah, I would recommend reloading until you get at least 1 Gauntlet Shrooms on this trip, because we're going to be stuck in the runner for the next few days, and we may as well make the most of it. So we could choose to cook here, but I'm tempted to read another passage of New World Travel Diary, because again, we're very close to that imagination.
What's that?
So this time, you actually do need to choose the correct response for the best results.
Oh, yeah?
Whichever it's made up, that's like the most incongruent with this game's themes. Let's not choose that. Everything tells me the correct answer is the pavilion.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
People who live in a pavilion in the sky, that reminds me of Final Fantasy 1.
Now then.
But yeah, we get another 4 coins, and there we go! Oh, it actually went over the requirement for rank 2. But yes, we are now a craven-informed, open-minded, tongue-tied inspired person.
Imagination. Why, that's...
Yes, mysterious voice. Imagination, why that's? I'm surprised this book hasn't been banned by the Sanctum. You know what? Given Neuros' history, probably has been banned. He would keep banned books in this place.
We could stop for a break.
And this is another aspect of the whole road trip plot that I love.
Coming now into view is the Tree of Prophecy, a resplendent tapestry of color against the backdrop of the bleak desert. One theory is that the tree's roots gorge on the land's magla, and still another is that it gorges on those enraptured by its colorful foliage, as though themselves snared by the bewitching magla surrounding the tree. The Gauntlet Runner comes to a stop at its base.
Is that feeling of stopping to see the sights. And this game does have some truly amazing sights to see. I just shout outs to the artists like who worked on this.
That's...
Again, some of these images are things that I've rarely seen in fantasy.
Certainly.
But interesting that if it's drawing from the magla, and magla comes from emotions, I wonder what it means if this tree is all red. Huh. Maybe don't touch it then, it could suck the magic out of you. And, you know what makes Nura's even more amazing?
Hey,
He is an artist who is so good that his paintings may as well be photos.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, art isn't even his job, but he's that good. The Tree of Prophecy drawing, and it has a handshake icon. Convey the full majesty of this place to a viewer who's never been there. Yeah. This is what we need to further Maria's bond. Once we get back to Grand Trad somehow, but that's not going to be anytime soon. I mean, we're taking a trip of 4 days. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Keep Gallica far away from him.
However,
And all of these scenic places you can visit give you an increase to I almost said social stat, royal virtue.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives in a quiet clearing, concealed by boulders. As darkness reclaims the wilderness for itself, monsters run rampant in the wilds. To sleep here would be perilous, unless from within the safety of a Gauntlet Runner. The party, secure in their Gauntlet Runner, spends the night in peace, hidden from hungry gazes.
Except for Hulkenbergs. But yeah, so many people in this race can't even afford Gauntlet Runners, so, a little worried about them right now. Okay, there's a blue light above the campfire. So here we can take a Lumabee. There we go. That's the other thing.
speaking of,
Okay, Hulkenberg isn't available today.
your thoughts?
Yes.
Point.
We also had the power of Shoji Meguro OSTs. That music. That, great magic spell there. Huh. Yeah, well, just make sure you don't follow the second star, because that's the one that will lead you to Neverland, and then, you'll get stuck there and never age. Which might be a good thing for some people, I suppose. So yeah, right now we can really just talk to Stroll for more imagination. We could also read books, and okay, this is actually kind of a major jerk move by the game. Tomorrow, there is a Force boss fight, and that boss fight gives you no time to prepare before it happens that day. So you want to either save your game now, or make your preparations. This boss fight, I've actually already prepared for in advance. The weaknesses you'll be dealing with are Ice and Pierce. You will also be dealing with light magic, so if you've learned Light Dodge from the healer archetype, that might be something that you can do. How much is that to inherit, though? It's pretty expensive. I think I'm good with what I've got, and Stroll has a unique reminiscence scene, which I think I will go ahead and do. Might be better to read the other book, but,
Well then.
I want to see Stroll's talk. Yeah, everyone's reminiscing on their awakenings.
Speaking of,
Hero Kings, plural. Well, I mean, I suppose there are so many Marth, Alts, and heroes at this point. Huh, this is actually very interesting. I actually do remember this from my first playthrough. Really, really interesting. And I thought this was the one that would give the most points. I do like the idea of powers and everything, but this is the very JRPG answer.
oh, I see.
I do fully, admit that, as much as Power of Friendship does get flack, it's a really genuinely good lesson to teach people. And it's kind of annoying when people just think it's only for kids, but, I do feel like a lot of JRPGs love stressing that people are alone. Like, it's kind of a common thing where often the villain is like, the reason why you became a villain is because you were alone, or the reason why you couldn't succeed is because you were alone. Like, that's really a really common trope in JRPGs. And like I don't know, I do feel like people who, you know, don't have large friend groups can still be capable of, like, being decent people, but it is good to have a support system too, obviously. And of course, if you're, you know, going on a heroic journey like one of those Hero Kings, then yes, as Moa says, doing that alone is generally not going to end well, unless you're the protagonist of Dragon Quest 1, because that's one of the few RPGs where you're only a party of one. That and the early East games. But then later East games would still give you a party. Like, yeah, like, it's fun to go back to those really old RPGs where you were a party of just one person. Just how many of them? About 42, I'd say. I forget if that includes the ultimate archetypes for each party member or not.
All right.
I know that I have well over 100 slides of bios, so look forward to those later. And speaking of look forward to things later, next time, we encounter our first rival candidate for the election race on the road. See you all then.